And so, ladies and gentlemen, the following match is for the vacant FCC Amateur Middleweight Championship to be fought over 5 3-minute rounds under amateur mixed martial arts rules in the lightweight division. So introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he enters the cage tonight with a mixed martial arts record of 9 victories with no defeats. Representing MDMA, Michael Davies. And his opponent standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. He enters tonight with a mixed martial arts record, 5 victories and 2 defeats, representing FCPC, Antonio Sheldon. Your referee in charge of the contest, Mr. Rich Crossley.
Referee Paul Crossley about to get this one underway. 5 3-minute rounds if they need them. Vacant FCC amateur lightweight title. Michael Davies in the purple, Antonio Sheldon in the white with blue trim.
Much wider stance for Michael Davies here.
Davies undefeated as an amateur, 9-0. Sheldon bringing a 5-2 record to the game. Some nice shots early there from Antonio Sheldon.
Snapping that front kick out, but big overhand right, catches Davies early.
Tagged his man a couple of times in the early offing here. Nice body kick back from Davies though.
Yeah, Davies clearly wants to stay on the outside, try and use some range, keep him guessing with those kicks, and switch those target areas up.
Both men exchanging leg kicks early on. Slightly rangier fighter is Michael Davies.
Ooh, that was a good, solid outside kick and a big overhand right. Sheldon getting stuck into the pocket when the chance presents itself.
Oh, slightly low on that kick. Accidental, but just caught the top of the cup.
Well, these guys have got so much movement going on. Kicks flying from any angle they can. Every collision is with a great deal of explosiveness. And that one just slipping a little bit low.
Sheldon sent to a neutral corner there. He's just going to be told to watch those kicks. Not intentional, clearly, but will be warned by Paul Crossley, nevertheless.
You get the sense that Sheldon's just trying to put a bit more power into each one of those strikes.
Nice uppercut there, though, from Davies by way of return.
And Davies with a bit more of the hit and move strategy. Lovely bob and weave to find the left hook, though.
Moving the head well is Davies when he commits. Nice combinations from both fighters early on here, Josh.
Yeah, clash of shins is going to hurt there. Sheldon finding his way on the inside and staying in the pocket. Really, he drives forward so well.
Certainly never has lacked aggression, Antonio Sheldon. We've seen him fight here on FCC many, many times.
You know, the volume of strikes he's throwing are really finding a home here. Starting to put Davies on the back foot, perhaps.
Absolutely, everything finding a home. But Sheldon is cut on that right eye. Didn't see what caused that, Josh, but it's clearly bothering him, and the referee is going to call time on that cut.
A pretty substantial cut over the right eye as well. I mean, he's pressing forward with a huge amount of aggression. You know what, for my money, he's finding the better of the strikes, but Davies with clearly some good handiwork of his own.
And we're going to see what the doctor says here. Doctor taking a close look at that cut. It does look to be in a very precarious position. And what a shame it would be, Josh, if this fight is curtailed by a cut.
Absolutely. I mean, it's looking like a very, very explosive encounter at this stage.
And we're going to see what the doctor says. He will be given a little bit of time here just to assess the injury. And he's been told to leave the cage. They're going to let it continue. But you've got to think the referee's going to be taking a very, very close look at that as the fight wears on, Josh.
Yeah, and you've got to figure that Davies is going to go straight up the open side there. of Sheldon's guard. And immediately finding a home, and he's the one looking to up the tempo a little bit now.
And you have to wonder, with this fight being 5 rounds, is Antonio Sheldon going to be in a position to fight for 5 rounds if the doctor's called in to look at that cut again, which
I don't know,
by the looks of things, Josh, he very well might be.
Yeah, it's opened up quick again here.
The onus might be on Sheldon now to go in for the finish. He's going to drive in for a takedown, puts his man against the fence in his own corner. Big pick-up attempt, but just backs the hips out there.
Yeah,
does Davies.
It was a really good level change. Shot from a long way on the outside, but managed to drive through. It's connected well. I do love the sprawl of Davies, though. He's defended that takedown very adeptly indeed.
And Sheldon's ability to continue with it in this fight, Josh, may well depend on whether or not he can get that top position early in this second round.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be throwing a lot of stuff off the left-hand side if I was Davies. Good bob and weave in defense. Left hooks, look for the left kick. Anything up that open guard side of Sheldon.
Fast and furious first round of action here at FCC 15. Antonio Sheldon, Michael Davies. Really getting stuck in that first round, Josh.
Yeah, but I think that's a tougher round to call, because, I mean, damage is not actually one of the criteria you score this fight on. Now, clearly, obviously, there's some substantial damage to the face of Antonio Sheldon, but perhaps he landed the greater volume of strikes in that first round.
I think certainly significant strikes would go to Sheldon, and perhaps the aggressor throughout that first period as well, but did get caught a couple of times himself. There was some nice head movement defensively from Michael Davies, but Josh, 4 rounds still to go here. Is Antonio Sheldon going to be able to last the distance with that eye injury?
Well, let's see how it plays out in the opening exchanges here, but that eye did open up quick. Cutman will have done some work on it. You can already see the Vaseline on that eye, but he's got to know that it's going to give him a sense of urgency. I think you can't afford to take too many shots there. It's going to open up again quick, and if that blood starts getting in his eye, it is going to impede his vision and make him more susceptible to any strikes coming his way.
Second round underway. Touch of gloves. Sheldon in the white, Davies in the purple. And again an aggressive start here from Sheldon. And you've got, a huge right hand from Antonio Sheldon there. And a big knee!
Connected. Looking in on the neck now.
Cranking that neck is Antonio Sheldon.
Oh, he is under the
dragging
chin.
his man to the mat, looking to wade in with punches. And this is exactly what Antonio Sheldon needs to do. He needs to get his man out of there early, and he knows it.
Some deep breaths from Davies. Sheldon on the offensive now. Just transitions from the single to the double. Changed level nicely to do it, by the way. But getting inside the pocket, throwing that huge volume of aggressive strikes. The aggression absolutely working for him here.
There was a big pickup there, but I think Michael Davies kind of conceded that takedown. Looked pretty comfortable, sort of jumping guard almost there.
Yeah, let's see what he's going to do off his back. It's going to be unpleasant for him with the blood pouring onto his chest as soon as that cut starts opening again.
Now, one thing we know about all the guys from FCPC is none of them lack fortitude. They're all consummate professionals. They've all been put in bad positions in training leading up to their fights, and not ones to take easy fights either as amateurs or pros. It's not the kind of thing that's going to throw Antonio Sheldon off his game, you would think.
No, not at all. We said that, he might have a sense of urgency with the cut, and boy, did he. They're both doing good things with the movement, but the speed with which he closes and continued to throw punches, it wasn't 1, 2, 3 and out. It was 4, 5, 6, and you know what? He had Michael Davies firmly on the back foot.
Unified amateur rules here, so no elbows allowed whatsoever in these contests. It does take away a weapon in this ground and pound phase of the fight, but Sheldon content to stay heavy on top, to sit in the guard here.
Well, at the moment, Davies isn't really doing anything. He's throwing this round away. He's just tied up with overhooks. He's closed his guard. He's not really opening. He's not attacking. He's not climbing his guard high. He's not throwing strikes. I mean, a loose triangle attempt there, and he's going to have to guard recover.
That's allowing Sheldon to get a dominant position. He takes the back.
Oh,
both hooks in for Antonio Sheldon.
Good back take for Sheldon. Sitting up high, and looks like he's going to choose to strike rather than try and flatten his man out. Got to be careful he doesn't get too high on the back here.
You've got to think he's got over a minute to play with. It could be all he needs.
It's rolling for the leg lock.
Oh, fantastic stuff here by Sheldon.
Calf crush. Let's see if he can get the grip.
Not often we see that submission, especially in amateur MMA. Of course, no twisting looks at all, which prevents heel hooks. Can go for the calf crushes and the straight knee bars, though.
I think he went for it, knowing full well there was really not long left on the round. I mean, he's managed to maintain top position, but I just wonder if he wouldn't have been better trying to stretch his man out. But a much better second round for Sheldon. I mean, he took that round hands down.
Absolutely on point. Sheldon in front in this contest now, you would think. And it has to be said, Josh, the cut didn't really open up too badly during the course of that round, and perhaps Antonio Sheldon's going to get a little bit lucky here with that eye injury.
He might. I mean, he was on the offensive for that whole round. Even when he was on the ground, there were no strikes coming from Davies to even try and open that eye up. No little short shots at all. I mean, if I was Davies, I know you'd be getting blood on yourself, but you might as well have gone to work on that eye.
Absolutely. I mean, anything, just rub the Vaseline off it with your glove here. Yeah. Absolutely anything just to get that cut open and bleeding again. And it's not perhaps the sporting way to win, but perhaps as desperation sets in for Michael Davies as this one wears on, I think we'll see some roughhouse tactics.
That second round's a fantastic blueprint for Sheldon. Drive forward, be aggressive, bulldog your man to the ground, and unless Davies is going to be more active off his back, he's going to drop those rounds every time it goes to the ground.
Well, Davies coming out slightly more aggressive this time, but it's Sheldon commanding the center of the cage. Nice little body kick from Sheldon. And this squad we've seen grow at FCPC over the years, they really have developed a fantastic all-round game, and a crew very, very fit, in shape and well prepared fighters they have produced over the past few years under the tutelage of Martin Stapleton, of course, Carl Tanswell of SBG in the corner as well, giving instructions.
Sheldon showing a good variety of kicks, switching his stance up a lot. Quite a few feints coming with the hips as well.
Antonio Sheldon looking very comfortable in there. Really hasn't been thrown off at all by that cut. And there's that big right hand again. We saw that in the first round. Josh, he had some great success throwing that fastball over the top. Punching combination here from Sheldon.
Volume. Good head movement from Davies, though. Look at that, staying inside the pocket, bobbing and weaving and throwing back with shots of his own. But, he drops his hands so low. He does try and protect with his lead shoulder, but that big overhand right every single time is, putting him in some danger.
Incredible defensive movement there from Davies. And you look at that 9-0 record and look at his performance in this fight, and you can see how he's managed to build that perfect ledger up. Taking some punishment around the legs, though, is Davies.
I think it's some fatigue perhaps starting to set in as well. Is that outside movement that worked so well for him in the first round is pretty much disintegrated here. Good jab, though, and that one really opened the cut up again.
As we said, Josh, it only takes one, a quick swipe of the glove or a jab, and that Vaseline's gone, and Sheldon having to contend with the blood in the eye again. Of course, impeding his vision. It's irritating. You have to move your hand to wipe the blood off, and of course your depth perception thrown off slightly as well. Still powering forward, though, is Sheldon, walking his man into the cage.
Yeah, Davies just missing those strikes by the smallest of margins, and Sheldon driving forward again with the kicks.
Nice long rangy strikes there from Davies. Sheldon answering straight back, really targeting the eye with that left hand, though, is Davies, and rightly so.
I just don't think he's throwing with enough volume to compete with Sheldon's game plan here. I mean,
but as we said, Josh, 2 more rounds to go after this one. How is that cut going to affect Antonio Sheldon as we enter the championship rounds, which it looks like we're about to do?
Oh.
Both men trade kicks. Sheldon comes out on top.
It's not going to be long for Sheldon to work there. A little fortunate for Michael Davies, perhaps, but a much closer round between the two that time.
Antonio Sheldon really wearing that crimson mask now. Championship rounds, Josh, separating the men from the boys here at FCC 15.
Yeah, very close fight to call this. Davies, I think he's got to stay on the outside. He again has got to pick his strikes and really try and use his range. He knows what Sheldon's about now. It's coming forward. They're slightly wilder punches coming over the top of the guard. So those pinpoint straight shots should find that eye again repeatedly. He's just got to throw in a bit more volume, I feel.
Well, let's see if the urgency starts coming to bear now from Michael Davies as he looks to keep that unblemished record intact. Antonio Sheldon still looking very calm, very confident. Couple of deep breaths from both men as expected when they've kept up this pace for 3 frantic rounds. 2 more to go if they need them. One of these 2 young men will be crowned the FCC Amateur Lightweight Champion. Nice combination to the body and up to the head from Sheldon. Davies answering back with a single shot. Cracks his man with a right there.
Yeah, they're good.
Sheldon completely nonplussed though.
Good straight shots from Davies at the moment.
Catches him with a nice left to the jaw. Sheldon powers forward though.
Yeah, really quite a chin on Sheldon. He's taken several big shots and he doesn't really seem phased at all. I will say the variety of strikes from Sheldon I think has been a bit better. Ooh, surging from a long way out, finds his way in on the hips though.
Looks like he's got his hands connected, but needs to pull those legs together. Nice wide base there from Davies. Switches for a single leg now.
Yeah, he's trying to just pry the chin up and he does a good job of forcing the head away. Oh, nice re-pummel with the lower body from Sheldon, who could turn this into a good double.
Fantastic takedown defense though from Michael Davies.
It was a nice sequence from Sheldon though, really trying those combination wrestling.
And they may be competing under amateur rules, but certainly nothing amateur about the skill sets of these 2 gentlemen, Josh.
Yeah, I think both guys showing a fair amount of prowess in their game here. Davies perhaps just getting a little bit flat-footed. You can see some big heavy breaths. And you can see quite often his feet come very close together. I mean, that's really going to take his base away. If Sheldon can time a takedown to go with that, it should be an easy completion for him.
Oh, whizzing left hand there from Sheldon.
That just skimmed the face. A couple of inches further forward, really could have been a nasty blow for Davies.
Fantastic composure from Antonio Sheldon, though. He really hasn't let that eye injury get to him. We saw him come out fast and furious in the second, but he's kept a fantastic, steady pace through the remainder of this contest. Nice body kick there. Follows it up with a jab. Davies answering back with one of his own, though, and a cracking right hand from Michael Davies. Both men still very much in this fight, Josh.
You see every time, though, Davies' hands they're dropping down to his waist every single time. He's then got to bring them up to strike. It makes him a little bit more telegraphed and a little bit slower.
Final 10 seconds of the round.
Oh, such a tough round to call this.
Possibly in the favor of Davies. He does seem to have landed slightly higher volume of strikes, and he's had some solid connections. Antonio Sheldon has eaten them all like breakfast cereal, but nonetheless, a heavy output from Davies. A high scoring round indeed, but Sheldon also got his own legs in. That good grappling combination as he looked for the takedown wasn't successful though, Josh, so perhaps you think another one back on the board for Davies there.
It really could be. I mean, that second round was a bad round for him, and he seems to have turned it around and really clawed his way back into this one. I mean,
depending on how you score the first round, Josh, perhaps 2-2, perhaps 3-1 to Sheldon at this point.
I've already got no idea. I mean, you can really look at it several different ways. Certainly, I think the better strikes in that round going to Davies.
Sheldon looking very calm in the corner there. 5th and final round, seconds out. Michael Davies in the purple, Antonio Sheldon in the white and blue. Brad Wharton and Josh Palmer calling the action in this vacant amateur lightweight title fight here at FCC 15. No touch of gloves, both men coming out with bad intentions.
Yeah,
both men scoring. Davies says no. Please, sir, can I have another?
This is the first time we've seen Davies really push forward aggressively. And that could play into the hands of Sheldon, who's met him 2 or 3 times now with that strong left hand.
And you've got to wonder if Davies' corner has said, look, you very well might be behind here. You've got to go out and finish him in this one. Big right hand again from Sheldon, though. Both men slinging heavy leather in this 5th round. Nice uppercut. Connects from Davies. And another. Sheldon perhaps on the back foot slightly here. A 2-piece from the FCPC man.
Again, Davies is snapping that jab out from a low hand position. Probably just a little bit less effective than it could be otherwise. But he's throwing some good hooking combinations in as well. And he knows that when Sheldon comes forward and starts those big bowler-like throwing punches, he does duck his head a little bit. That's when he's looking for the uppercuts.
Very low hands always, though, from Davies, Josh. And it has led to him getting tagged. Perhaps thinking that maybe Sheldon doesn't have the power to put him away here in the 5th, but they all count on the scorecards. And again, the right hand lands for Antonio Sheldon. Tags a kick onto the end of that punching combination. Both corners really willing their men forward.
I mean, the kicking game has definitely been a separator between these two. Sheldon throwing vastly more kicks, being very successful with several kicks to the legs and kicks to the bodies.
A couple of nasty red welts on the left leg of Davies, and he's been attacked on the right side of the body as well. Spinning combination there from Antonio Sheldon. Jab, and Davies answers back with 2 of his own. Davies corner telling it's the final 30 seconds. You think he's going to have to put his foot on the gas here, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, he's been the aggressor in this round, but Sheldon's thrown his fair share straight back at him, and you can see both guys clearly exhausted here. Punches just lacking a little bit of pop.
Incredibly high pace has been kept up for the 5-round duration. Both men probably running on fumes a little here, Josh. Bit of capoeira for good measure from Davies. Bit of a character and a showman. Antonio Sheldon, all business. Final 10 seconds of the round and the fight. Are we going to see a big finish? Sheldon powering forward with the right hand. Davies looking to pounce a nice knee. And it's all over. Fantastic action here in the FCC Amateur Lightweight Division. And Josh, how are we scoring this fight?
I have got no idea. This is going to be a very, very close one for the judges to call. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw at least one 10-10 round in there. I mean, both guys, a slightly different style of striking attack for each of them, but boy, did they both get their licks in well.
Fantastic action here. The best amateurs in the country on display at FCC 15, and we've just seen 2 of them in the cage. Michael Davies, Antonio Sheldon, one of them is about to be crowned the FCC Amateur Lightweight Champion. And we will throw it to our MC for the official judge's decision.
Items to center, please. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for these 2 fantastic warriors this evening. And after 5 hard-fought rounds, we go to our judges this evening. With a unanimous decision, your winner in the red corner, Antonio Sheldon. Your new FCC Amateur Lightweight Champion. And let's hear it for his opponent. Let's hear it for Michael Davies.